Getting voted out of Survivor is the fate many Survivor players suffer, as only 3 people from an 18 to 20 person cast can make it to the final 3, hence more than likely, the odds are you'll be voted out before making it to day 39. Whether it's due to bad gameplay, a bad swap, a crazy twist, or an insane blindside, most Survivor players go home despite their best efforts. But sometimes when a Survivor player goes home, they have nobody to blame but themselves, to the point where they literally are the ones responsible for their blindside. What's going on, guys? I'm Flint Masters, and this is 5 times Survivor players eliminated themselves from the game. And again, I'm going to focus on occurrences where Survivor players were literally all but guaranteed to be safe, but one bad decision caused them to be the boot. There's obviously many instances of bad gameplay being the reason a Survivor player was voted out, but again, that's a different video for another day. Before we begin, make sure to smash that like and sub button if you enjoy Survivor, as I post weekly Survivor videos and now posting twice a week due to my new series. With that said, let's begin with number 5. At number 5 is Liliana Gomez getting herself eliminated in episode 4 of Survivor Fiji. Yes, Liliana Gomez is an actual Survivor player. Look it up if you don't believe me. Survivor Fiji of course introduced the infamous have and have nots twist, which gave one tribe comfort and food, while the other tribe had literally nothing. As predicted, the tribe with the luxuries dominated the competition, winning the first 4 immunities. However, after winning the 4th immunity challenge, Moto had a decision to make. If they were to keep immunity, they would have to give up their comfort, but if they were to keep their comfort, they would have to give up their immunity to Ravu, and they would be the ones going to Tribal Council. Everyone agreed to keep the comfort, and Moto went to Tribal Council that night. Remember, there were clearly weak people on the bottom of the tribe, mainly Cassandra and Lisi, who agreed to this, knowing damn well they could be in trouble if they went to Tribal Council. Why they agreed to this is beyond me. I mean, I get that they didn't want to piss off their tribe, and also figured if Moto lost the comfort, they would become the losing tribe, and would go to Tribal Council again anyway, but still, you gotta live to fight another day. You can't even think about the future if there is none. But after the tribe had an open forum and decided on Cassandra, the target switched to Liliana, since they realized Cassandra was literally harmless, and Liliana was seen as deceptive for her flirty actions. And at Tribal Council, Liliana is blindsided in a 7-1-1 vote. And remember, her blindside could have been avoided had she simply said no to going to Tribal Council. Now, it may be a little harsh to make fun of Liliana here, as she obviously felt just as safe as the other strong guys, but it is season 14 after all. I mean, idols are in the game for heaven's sakes. You should never even risk putting yourself in danger. And again, losing luxuries suck, pissing off your tribe sucks, but I'm pretty sure being a pre-merge boot sucks a whole lot more. Who knows how Liliana's game would have gone had she made it past this tribal, but at the end of the day, she put herself at risk by agreeing to go to tribal, and the Survivor gods made her pay.
Well, I'm definitely 100% shocked. To me, it's ridiculous to get rid of one of your stronger people in the beginning. I just wish I could have stayed in longer because I definitely would have kicked some butt. Wow, there are some good liars, great liars. I think the weaklings stayed behind and not the strong ones leaving today.
But if you thought Moto giving up immunity was bad, they don't hold a candle to the ridiculousness of the men's tribe in Survivor 1 World. After the men won the immunity challenge, it looked like they would have an 8-6 numbers advantage over the women. But after having enough of certain people on his tribe, Colton made a suggestion.
God, I hate him. Maybe I should go to those girls and say, do y'all want to trade and we'll go to Tribal Council tonight because we have a lot more to deal with than y'all.
So, oh well.
That would be interesting.
Would you be willing?
Unbelievably, the entire men's tribe unanimously agreed to go to Tribal Council. Again, not only is it ridiculous to put yourself in danger, especially when you're on a tribe with Colton, but this meant the men would no longer have the numbers. Leaf was seen as untrustworthy by the men after telling Bill he was next to go, while Bill obviously had his issues with Colton throughout the season. Yet, unbelievably, both of them agreed to go to Tribal Council. I mean, sure, the guys probably told Leaf that Bill was a target over him, but still, if you're Leaf, how in the world could you agree to this when your tribe openly doesn't trust you? And then Bill, bless his heart, for some reason thought that Leaf would be the boot over him, even though his fight with Colton was literally the last straw for Colton, and is what made him suggest giving up immunity in the first place. Some speculate that Bill knew he was going home and wanted to get away from Colton, but he should have known that more than likely there would be a tribe swap at 14, and lo and behold there was. He either could have been on a different tribe, or even better, flip on Colton and be a part of his elimination. Man, how satisfying would that have been? While you do have to feel for Bill considering Colton gave him a traumatic Survivor experience, there's no excuse for agreeing to go to Tribal Council knowing you're a target, and he paid the price for it. At number 3 is Drew Christie, who got himself eliminated after throwing a challenge in San Juan del Sur. Now, to be fair to Drew, he's not the only person to go home after throwing a challenge. Burton was in on throwing a challenge in the Pearl Islands to blindside Krista, only for him to be blindsided instead, and the same thing happened to Hakeem when trying to throw a challenge to get out Joe. But in the slightest defense of those players, they thought multiple people were on their side to throw a challenge to get rid of their target. Drew Christie, on the other hand, literally single-handedly caused his own elimination. After what actually turned out to be a correct read of Kelly Wentworth being a threat, he became fixated on Wentworth and put it upon himself to take her out. So at the immunity challenge, Drew literally threw the challenge all by himself, sending Hanapo to tribal council, where he would be blindsided in a 5-2-1-1 vote, with literally nobody else but Drew voting for Kelly. Not only was this just terrible gameplay from Drew in general, but again, 14 was the usual time the tribe swap. There was no reason to cause tension within the tribe. He also could have aligned with his brother Alec at the swap or the merge, and who knows what would have happened at that point. I'm not as opposed to throwing challenges as I am to giving up immunity, but to single-handedly be the reason why you got yourself voted out is about as embarrassing as it gets, and Drew Christie's episode 4 performance still remains as one of, if not the best downfall episode in Survivor history.
Basically, I'm a badass and a manipulator of this game.
Drew, the tribe has spoken. Time for you to go.
Wow.
At number 2 is one of the more famous instances of someone eliminating themselves from the game, and that is Tyson switching his vote from Russell to Parvati in Survivor Heroes vs. Villains. Now, there have been many times in Survivor where somebody technically voted themselves out by voting for the wrong person. Going all the way back to Fiji, when Mookie voted for Boo instead of Alex, to Russell not voting for Stephanie to save himself in Redemption Island, voting for the wrong person out of spite or simply bad gameplay is pretty common in Survivor. What's not common, however, is switching your vote at Tribal and messing up a bulletproof split vote plan. For those of you that somehow forgot, Rob's Majority 6 Alliance planned to split the votes on Russell and Parvati, and again, with Russell being the only one with an idol, this plan would guarantee all 6 to be safe, as either Russell played his idol and Parvati would go home, or they would take out Russell on the revote if he didn't play the idol. However, after being told by Russell that he was voting for Parvati, and in general wanting to start playing both sides of the Villains tribe, Tyson switched his vote from Russell to Parvati at Tribal Council, and as they say, the rest is history.
If anybody does have the hidden immunity idol and you want to play it, now would be the time to do so.
I think I'm gonna take the target off of my back. You know, Coach, you always say loyal, honesty, and trust is the best thing. No matter how this comes out tonight, I'm gonna stick to that. Parvati?
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I guess I'm playing it.
6th person voted out of Survivor, Heroes vs. Villains. Tyson.
Oh my God.
Tyson, tribe has spoken. Time for you to go.
Again, say what you will about players not voting for a certain player to beat the split vote, but Tyson was literally 100% guaranteed to be safe this Tribal Council had he voted for Parvati. Simple as that. I feel like this move is even more remembered as Tyson voted himself out, as opposed to Russell's amazing idol play. But in the end, no move is more blatantly bad than Tyson getting voted out after switching his vote, and is easily the most avoidable elimination in Survivor history. Or, well, almost. At number 1, I mean, come on, it's Eric giving up his immunity necklace at the final 5 of Survivor Micronesia, only to be the one blindsided. I won't beat the dead horse on this one. I mean, Survivor already does that anyway, but Eric is literally the definition of getting yourself eliminated. He was guaranteed a spot in the final 4, was super likely to win the final 2 immunities, and might have even won the entire game. But as he said himself, he fell for the charm of the woman in the Black Widow Brigade, and gave up his guaranteed safety to Natalie, putting himself in danger, and was ultimately voted out unanimously. A moment that still gets made fun of nearly 15 years later. This happened with Brandon in South Pacific as well, but that was obviously an incredibly bizarre circumstance. There is just simply no logic whatsoever in Eric giving up his immunity. At least the other 4 on this list had some sort of reason to give up their safety, even if it was really stupid in hindsight. Eric's reason for giving up his immunity was to show the jury he had some morals? Yeah, because I'm sure the jury totally wouldn't respect an underdog winning his way to the end against all odds. And you know, you don't even get a chance to plead your case to the jury if you get sent to the jury instead. Simply an unfathomable move, but hey, at least CBS has forgotten about it.
The players have evolved the game by pushing the boundaries with risky, game-changing moves.
If you were to give up immunity, then I would believe you.
Brilliant psychological manipulation.
I want to give individual immunity to Natalie.
Sorry.
But the 4 remaining women bamboozled him
Give me your necklace tonight.
into giving up the necklace at Tribal Council
I want to give individual immunity to Natalie.
and then promptly voted him out.
13th person voted out and the 6th member of our jury. Eric, you bring your torch.
In order to persuade someone effectively, you have to understand that person's motivation.
If you were to give up immunity, then I would believe you, and that would cue me that we're all going to vote Amanda.
Persuading them should be easy.
I want to give individual immunity to Natalie.
Eric, the tribe has spoken.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video and Survivor in general, then remember to hit that like and subscribe button, as I am now posting twice a week, and with Survivor 42 underway, there's no better time than now to join the fun on my channel. With all that said, take care everyone, and I'll see you next time.